Hello, windy again today, but I think I'm out of the worst of it. I've said that and now there's a big gust, and last week I thought I was out of the worst of it and I wasn't. So last week I had this, which hadn't been wet finished, and it has now been wet finished. And, oh, there it goes, keeps coming. So visually it doesn't actually look that much difference, though you can now see a bit of the texture from this skipped dent. So if you missed what this was, and you may have, there is skipped warp threads in the middle. So if I wanted to poke my fingers through, I can do that. And maybe I do want to do that. You can sort of see the difference in texture a little bit, but it's not as striking as it would be if the weft yarn wasn't quite so fluffy. But it feels nice, it's good to squeeze, and isn't that all we want out of life? So that is done, that is ready to have whatever happens to it happen to it. Now, I don't know what's happening to it. Something may or may not happen to it. I'm not throwing it out, but I don't know what I'm doing with it afterwards. Now, this was on the loom and this is now off the loom. Is it wet finished? No. First time here? Maybe. Hi. If it is your first time, welcome. This is actually going quite well for me. So this is how this came out. This is my red scarf, I don't know if you can tell, with the various textured yarns. So I've got this very, very soft, fluffy nylon, and then I've got a kind of mohair blend, and then I've got just a plain merino in sort of 3 shades of red. So I'm going to chuck this in some soapy water and give it a swoosh and see how it comes out after that, because all of these yarns I think will behave differently after a wet finish, so we'll see what I get. I've done a plaited fringe on this. These ends will be trimmed off after I've wet finished, because twisting didn't really work with the different thicknesses. It just kind of looked a bit, you know, so I didn't do it. Now I do have something on the loom, but I'm only going to show you a photograph of it because I've literally just stood up from starting it. I got it warped up about an hour ago and I've done about 4 rows of weaving on it. It's not worth setting up the camera to talk about, so I'll show you what it is. It looks like this. This is a Panda brand rockery. I think it's discontinued, so it's got like a nice texture in it, and those little texture bubbles I suppose is the word, are attached to a very strong yarn, so it should work for warp. But I'll catch you up with that next week and we'll see if it did work for warp. Now, finally, I've got the cross stitch. I feel like I'm rushing a bit, and there's 2 reasons for that. One, I'm trying to avoid the wind being windy on me, and my battery indicator is telling me not quite a lot of battery left, so we'll see how I get on. So, this is how the cross stitch looked last time I showed you, which was a couple of weeks ago. And this is how it's looking now. So you can't really tell. I've done a little bit up here in this top corner, but I'm also working on the petals, and they're hard to see because it's white on white. But there is action with the cross stitch. So that is how it is looking. It has slowed down somewhat because I have been playing video games again. That is the reason why my creative stuff doesn't get creatived. Playing video games. Anyway, that is all I have for you this week. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything else to tell you. I'm done. That's all I've been up to. I'm going to go and get more on that weaving done, and I'll see you next week. This feels particularly scattered for me, so I apologise for that. You take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.